Welcome to Toffee TV. It is your comments for the Everton game versus Watford. Everton 3, Watford 2. A superb comeback from the Blues, and hopefully more positive comments this week. Let's get in it. William McGibbon says, at 2-0, thought that was it, but miraculously we got back into it. Don't want to piss on our bonfire, but got lucky at the end with Tom Cleverley's missed penalty, but we needed that bit of luck. But what a night of a bonfire pissed on. Do you know what I mean? No, we did. Listen, we rode our luck, but maybe in other games we didn't get any luck. I still think the goalie would have saved it, regardless. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Mr. Dominic say, I disagree with the claim that Niasse is not a technically gifted player. Niasse is unorthodox. He just does things that you don't expect from other strikers. Maybe he lacks the tactical awareness, but he makes up for that with his barnstorming approach to things. Niasse is Niasse. There's no one like him. Thank you, Mr. Martinez, for another shrewd purchase. Interesting. Actually, I don't think there's an issue with his tactical awareness. I think he makes some absolutely superb runs. I think it's his ball control which it leaves more to be desired. I think he has a picture in his head what he wants to do. I just don't think a lot of the time he does it because he's just not technically good enough. But tactically, I think he's got a good idea of what he wants to do. We've seen that for the run he made for the goal, for the run he made to set up Sigurdsson. I just think he just lacks a little bit of control. Let's just say control. Brian Markey says, I thought we were the better side till half time, but after that Watford took control and I knew they score. At 2-0 I thought it was game over, but the Prince himself, Niasse, got us back into it. From there we took over. Watford always looked dangerous on the break, and that was it. For Everton, had a decent corner and we scored. Couldn't believe it when we got the penalty. I think that's what I cried when I saw the 12 minutes of added time. For some reason, I didn't think Watford would score. Even when they got the penalty, I had a feeling Cleverley would miss it. Niasse, man of the match. I thought Watford were quite good in the first half. I thought they were the aggressors, and I thought 5 minutes before half time they really sort of turned the screw a little bit and we looked ragged. They were always dangerous on the break, but luckily we got through it. The 12 minutes were unbelievable, especially as there was no, like, when we were in the stadium, there's no real way of knowing how long it had been. It just sort of got lost in it. So very nervous, but you know, we got through it. Paul Robinson said, back home in West Yorkshire, enjoying the win, but Watford's downfall was their replacement goalkeeper. Our youngsters looked overawed. Sadly, David Unsworth isn't the answer. Get Dyche announced this week. Yeah, their goalkeeper played a big part of it. I disagree with you with the youngsters. I thought when we stepped it up, the youngsters stepped it up and really pushed us forward. I don't think they all had brilliant games, but I think they drove us on. I thought Kenny and Davies, without being spectacular, helped drive us on. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Lookman, really pushed us on. They need to be a little bit more composed, I think, but sometimes there's no accounting for passion, you know what I mean? Sometimes that's the thing you need to drive you through. So Dyche, maybe check out our little management special this week as well, where we discuss all the candidates. Junior Golf Skier says, thoughts on how Silva set his team up and how Watford played, given this may have been a bit of an interview for him for the job. I thought Watford played quite well. I thought they looked good on the break. I think the goalkeeper going off played a big part in it. The goalkeeper they brought on was garbage. And we went for the kill, and look, we were lucky. We threw everything at them and we got our rewards for that. But I don't think he did too badly. I think they'll be a little bit worried they've conceded late goals. I believe they've done that a few times this season. But you know, it's Watford after all. It's not like they went out and spent a fortune in the summer. They're doing alright, and he's doing alright. Everton 13 says, Rooney has his purpose, but he doesn't need to be forced into the team. The lad's lost pace, and they play him on the wing was leaving him helpless. Put him on the bench when we can't fit him into the team. Sigurdsson, on the other hand. I don't know what that means, Sigurdsson on the other hand. Yeah, I don't think there's any need to shoehorn Rooney into the team. If he can't play in his position or the game's not set up, then don't play him. Sigurdsson, listen, he's a good footballer. It doesn't matter what we've seen so far. We know he's a good footballer. He just has to settle in to a position. But we'll wait and see. Don't know. A new manager will come in and we'll have his say on all these things with fresh eyes, fresh intentions, a fresh way of playing. You know, we don't know. We don't know who that manager is and how he'll set up. So we'll have to wait and see. Jay Tality says, Unzies, after picking up from an absolute disaster, can we not see what happens in the next few games? This is all broken English. I think if anything, it should buy more time till a great manager decides he wants. It means there's no urgency to get fat Sam in. I think this next 2 weeks is the perfect time to get a new manager in. Waiting to see if a great manager decides if he wants it is not. You can't do things like that. You have to go out and get what's available. And to say that, I don't mean managers out of work. I mean whoever's available at the moment. You're not going to get the best of the best out of their jobs, like players. I think we have to decide what we want and go and get it. You know, and that for me is that for me is the players know what they want, and also the manager will come in, see where he needs to strengthen, and can start planning for that as well. Maybe put wheels in motion for new players. So I do think it's important we get a new manager in the next couple of weeks. Macker_13 says, we can't get ahead of ourselves. Still played awful up until 70 minutes. Showed great fight and Goodison was rocking. Memorable night. I think we played alright in the first half for 40 minutes, and then 5 minutes before half time and 15 minutes after half time I thought we were poor. But it was the fact that we conceded 2 goals quite close to each other that was the most worrying thing for me. And they were quite poor goals defensively. To set up for the first goal being 3 against 3, and then when Keane lost the header it was suddenly 3 against 2, and also a header from a corner. So yeah, it was a great night in the end. We got the 3 points. That's the most important thing. Matthew Chandler says, Ped, would you give Unsworth the Palace game? As I said, if they can get the man in they want, then no, I wouldn't. If they can get who they want in the next 2 weeks, then I think they have to do that. But who's to say they will? Who's to say they can? And if Unsworth has to carry on, then so be it. So be it. But I would be looking to get a new man in. Sad says, Niasse is my man of the match. He just keeps going, never lose the smile on his face even when we are trailing, and that positivity is what won us the game at the end. The others could learn a thing or two from him. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't stop. I mean, the goal he scored, the first goal, his goal was so hugely important. He didn't give up and he got his rewards, and you don't see that from enough players, and he does. Nothing's a lost cause to Niasse, and I think that's why it's infectious, and that's why the crowd respond to him, because you know he's come in and he's turned it upside down, hasn't he? He should never really been in the squad. He probably should have moved to Crystal Palace. It was their choice not to sign him, and now he's our joint top goal scorer. You know what I mean? So he's doing brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly, and he leads from the front, and that's sometimes what you need. Because if your centre forward's just standing round and not doing anything, then it puts more work on the midfielders. So if he starts at the front, it allows the team to get up the pitch to help him. So he's been absolutely fantastic. His attitude is second to none. Daenerys S says, the Everton before Niasse goal was dreadful, absolute shite and had no bottle. The Everton after Niasse goal looked like the Everton that we expect. A team that wants the 3 points. Subs were brilliant. Luckman was with an assist, Don with an equaliser, and Lennon winning a penalty. Barkley should start after the international break. I don't think he'll be back after the international break. We know allegedly what's happened with Morgan and Kev, but what's happened with Sanzo, Davey and Vlasic? Oh, cheers. Oh, and cheers, special agent cleverly. I think with Sandro and Klaassen and Vlasic, I think basically what it is it's the manager deciding that he's got the job for 4 games and these players won't be involved for 4 games. He wants continuity, he wants players he knows, are up for it. He wants, you know, because he can't learn about players in 4 games and what's best for them. He has to put in what he knows. Simple as that. A new manager might come in, have a look at them in training and bring them in and see how they develop, and they'll be fine. They might come in and do fine. I don't think Unsworth's had the choice to do that, because don't forget, the thing we were moaning about was how every week we chopped and changed and brought new players in. David Unsworth brought a little bit more continuity in the last 4 games. It made that smaller pool of players to work with, which, you know, makes his job a little bit easier. And those players will be fine. I'm sure those players will be fine. They'll either get back involved or they'll be out the door. One way or another, they'll be fine. Javan says Sigurdsson was shit today. So glad at least some players wanted to show up. Gylfi was a 3 for me. Poor. Yeah, he didn't have a brilliant game, but I don't think it's for the want of trying. Little things like if he scores, that could change everything for him. That's football. It's so evenly balanced. Yeah. But for 45 million, he's not up to it, is he, at the moment? But hopefully he gets better, he improves, and again, the new manager gets a tune out of him. And there you go, there are your comments. Thanks to everyone for getting involved, leaving your comments on our videos after the match. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. I'll see you later on Toffee TV.